All right, so tonight we got Davion, who's going to be actually running the class tonight, and I'm going to be helping out as needed. And we're going to go ahead and kick this thing off. We will, if we see some trades, also we'll go over some analysis and call a few trades out and go from there. Without further ado, the man, the myth, the wizard, Mr. Davion. Yes, sir.
Let me share my screen, bro.
No problem.
And this is honestly gonna be we're gonna start off real basic with this because I really just started learning it the other day, and I'm just gonna use the DXY chart just to have some open space, just to give some examples on some triangles. But the triangle pattern itself is just a lot of insight to future continuation patterns. But the way I was looking at it, I see three main patterns, and those three patterns that I was looking at is I'm gonna write them for you. Three main variations of triangle patterns. You got one is which the symmetrical triangle. You got descending and ascending triangles. So those are the three main patterns that I've been looking at, Vaughn. And I don't know if you've looked at any more, but those are just the main three seeing for some solid continuation patterns.
Yeah, only thing I will add is the falling wedge and the rising wedge.
Okay, I got the rising wedge. I haven't looked at the falling wedge, but it's basically the same thing, just gonna be flipped.
Yep. Got a typo on patterns at the top, bro.
All right, cool. So the symmetrical one is more of you got two trend lines. You got one trend line coming down and in the descending pattern. I meant the descending angle, and then you have another one coming up, symmetrical, ascending. All right, so you got one coming, and what this tells us when you see the symmetrical pattern, it basically there's no clear direction on that one because it's pretty much even and it's just consolidating in basically one way. There's no clear direction on that. So the main thing with all of these triangles in general is before you even when you see the triangle, the first thing you want to look at is the which way the trend is going. So if I'm looking at this and the trend is going, I got an uptrend coming in. So what I'm thinking is going to happen is it's going to break, it's going to come back and retest, and it's going to continue in that uptrend. So starting off, the symmetrical triangle pattern itself has no clear direction. It's just going to be consolidating in one direction. There's no clear direction going up or down. They're both symmetrical, but you want to check to see which way the trend is going before you even see the pattern. So if it's going in an uptrend, then I'm looking for that to break this triangle pattern and then continue to go up in the uptrend, continue on up in the uptrend. So I know off top that it's going to be a bullish pattern just because of the trend. Now, Vaughn, you can attest on this. You can also take calls and puts in this triangle right here.
Yes, sir.
As well. So also be looking for that. But if I'm looking at a symmetrical triangle and I see that it's in an uptrend at first, then I'm going to be looking for it to eventually break and continue in the upward momentum. All right. Now, if you got it going coming from a downtrend, then vice versa. We taking puts and calls. I'm looking for it to eventually break, retest, and come back in that continuation of the downtrend. Now, sometimes you're not going to get that break and retest. Sometimes it's just going to break and it's just going to continue to go down. But if you do get the break and retest, it's going to be solid on that bottom symmetrical triangle. It's going to be solid to take a break and retest for it to continue to go. So the main thing with each of these triangles, especially the symmetrical triangle, is to find your trend first and then look for continuation in the way that the trend is already going. You got anything else to add to that one, Vaughn?
Oh man, that's good stuff on that one. You hit it
Okay,
right
cool.
there.
So that's the symmetrical triangle right there. There's no clear direction. Check your trend first and look for continuation the way that the trend is going. So that's the first one that we got. And then the second one, we're going to be looking at the descending and ascending triangles, but I'll start with the descending first. So what happens is you're kind of looking for, and I'll use this example right here. I'll put a trend line. So the first thing we're looking for, we're going to put a trend line at the bottom, and that trend line is basically acting as a support because it's on the floor. All right, so you'll find a solid level of support, and then your descending trend line is going to act as basically as a resistance at an angle. All right, so we're going to, that's our descending triangle. Now, on these descending and ascending triangles, you always have a flat bottom. You always have a flat bottom, whether it's at the top or it's at the bottom. But as a descending triangle, you're looking for that flat bottom right there, and you're looking to connect the higher highs, right? You're looking to connect the higher highs. And obviously, the highs are catching up with the lows, so that's letting us know that the bulls are losing momentum and the sellers is taking over because it's in a downward momentum right there. All right, so you got your flat bottom, you got your descending trend line that's connecting all of your highs, which are making lower highs at each point. They're making lower highs. So on this one, if you have if it's coming out of a downtrend, then of course we can take calls and puts as well. And then you'll be looking for it to break to the downward end, to the down end, right? Now for this example itself, what happened was it came up out of just a temporary uptrend, it came up, made its moves, and it continued in that uptrend. So either way, you still want to determine which way your trend is. All right. If your trend is going up, look for it to continue to the up end. If it's coming down, look for it to continue to the downside. Now, this is not 100% accurate. This is not going to happen every time where it breaks and continues to go down. Sometimes it may hit this, it may come back up and continue in the upward motion. All right. So that's not 100% that it's going to go, that it's going to continue that the trend that it was already in. But just as far as looking at the descending triangles, you just want to make sure that you have a flat line. All right. You have a flat line. It's not at an angle. You don't want the bottom one to be at an angle because that's going to be a symmetrical triangle right there. All right. So we're looking for a flat bottom and we're looking to connect the highs, and these highs are continuing to make lows right there. So we're looking at some bearish momentum in this area right here. Now, I like this one because it's coming out of a temporary uptrend and it continues in that uptrend right there. So that's a perfect example of finding your trend first. Take your calls and your puts in this area. It really didn't break and retest here, but it continued its pattern on right there. So that's the descending triangle. Vaughn, you got anything to add to that, to my man?
After that, man, you dropped the microphone. I do got a question for you though. So just to kind of reiterate, getting in the calls and puts in that pattern, where do you get in that so everybody can understand how to get into the trade while you're in that pattern?
Me personally, I like to wait. And I would call these I would call these up here. Well, let me change that. Let me change that. Income. I would call these major resistance levels right there. So I would wait for it personally. This is me personally. I would wait for it to hit the top of my trend or the bottom of my trends.
Mhm.
That's where I'm looking for right there. And vice versa on the other end. I'm waiting for it to hit my support because this flat bottom down here, this flat line is still acting as a support, as a support line as well.
Okay.
All right. So I'm taking calls down here and I'm taking puts at the top where the highs are connecting right there. So that's where I'm looking for my calls and puts in those areas.
Makes sense. Okay. That's good stuff, man.
So that's the descending one. And then we'll go to the ascending pattern. Ascending pattern is basically the same thing as this kind of opposite. So what we'll do is now ascending, you're gonna have a flat top. All right, you're gonna have a flat top, and you're going to have a ascending bottom, which is coming up. So we got some movement coming to the up end. Oh shoot. Hold on, let me fix my pattern. So once again, we got the flat top right there acting as a level of resistance. And then we have our ascending triangle. I'm at the ascending trend line right there. Trying to get it to where I'm coming in, starting in an upward trend. So that's going to start its upward trend right there. We're taking puts and calls in these areas. The buyers are more aggressive in these areas right here. So these is where you take your calls and your puts while it's hitting those trend lines. All right. If it's starting in an uptrend, I want to look for continuation to the upside. Now, be mindful, and I should have said this on the descending triangles as well, but be mindful on your flat lines that's acting as your support and your resistance. Be mindful because it gets weaker up here the more it touches. 4 or 5 touches is going to start to get weaker, and you're going to start to see, eventually you're going to see a breakout. So be mindful of how many times you take. If it's an ascending triangle, be mindful of how many times you take puts up here at the top resistance, because eventually it will break out. All right. So if we're working in an uptrend, we taking calls and puts in these areas. Now, with this ascending triangle, the lows are starting to get higher, which means the sellers are catching up with the buyers. It's starting to get weak in that area. So be mindful that the breakout will come, and this top line, it starts to get weak. So be mindful of that. Now, if it happens in a downtrend, we're still looking for the same things, calls and puts in this area, but we're looking for it to continue in the downtrend. You're not always going to get a break and retest, but you will have continuation, usually in the trend that it's already in. So be mindful of that as well. So the main thing that I would say about these triangles is, first, see what your trend is in. That way that you will know in the future where price is going. All right. And also, you may not, you don't have to take calls and puts on this. I know it was one time that me and Vaughn was practicing on this, and price started all the way back here. We was on the call for a little bit, and we didn't take it until it broke out of that triangle. So that's like a trade where we're hunting. We know what we want. We're hunting. We're sitting back and we're waiting. And then when it hits our price, when it hits what we want, then we take it. But we're letting price do its thing. So you don't have to take calls and puts the whole time, every time it hits. You can wait for price to get to where you want. Now I know if it's starting in an uptrend and it comes in a symmetrical triangle, one that's pretty much even, has no direction, I know for in the future, I'm going to be looking for calls. So really what I would wait on is a break and retest on that, because I know that it's still in that uptrend, and it's going to hit that continuation as it comes out of that triangle. So those are your three main variations of triangle patterns. I'll let Vaughn talk about the wedges a little bit, but if you have any questions on the triangles before we switch it over, let me know so I can go over that as well.
Make sure everybody can unmute. That was a great job, man.
Appreciate it.
Make sure everybody can unmute themselves. Yep. So you guys got questions, anything? You guys are free to hop in whenever you feel like you need to hop in and ask a question. And the patterns do work, so I do highly recommend you guys to start, drawing them out. And you're going to start seeing them with your natural eye. The more you draw them out, you'll start seeing them just naturally. Like, wow, there's a triangle right there, or a wedge, however you want to call it. So it just takes a little bit of practice, and then you'll start seeing it, and then start using them in your trading to see if they actually help you out. I did start using them today. I took like 2 trades. I cleared 2 trades on it today. So again, it does work. I'm gonna go over the wedge. I'm getting my screen ready here. I'm gonna go over the falling wedge first. Give me 1 second.
So while he's looking at that, in the descending triangle pattern, you're looking for sales. All right, you're looking for sales. That would be the most high probability trades. In an ascending triangle going up, you're looking for calls. That would be the most high probability trades. In a symmetrical triangle pattern, which it shows no direction, make sure that you understand where the trend is before that symmetrical pattern happens. So if it's coming up, if the trend is coming up and it works in a symmetrical triangle, the best bet would be to take calls once it breaks out of that wedge, that symmetrical triangle. If it's coming down, your best bet in a symmetrical triangle would be to take sales in that. So be mindful of your trend. That way you know where price is going in the future, and what trade positions you should get in.
Awesome, man. Awesome.
Hey guys, would you mind if I shared my screen?
Not at all.
I have a question, Davion. While you were going through all of that, I've got this on my chart that's doing exactly what you're saying.
Most definitely.
I want to see what you guys think on what this might do.
Okay.
Desktop one. Can you guys see that chart up?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this, all right, this trend, this downtrend here is a 30-minute.
Mm-hmm.
And I got this as a 15 coming up here.
Mm-hmm.
This red horizontal I got is a 4-hour. Okay.
Okay.
And then when you, right, pretty much, and I noticed right when you started talking, Davion, this right here, I started noticing when it came down and rejected off this trend line, perfect. And then it went up into my green zone, which I missed. Came back down, and each time it came back down, it started getting higher and higher. So I just drew this 5-minute line right here, and it's hitting this 4-hour perfect, and it's coming in just like that. Most and definitely. Now we broke out going down. I'm just curious on what your thoughts might be.
Can you zoom it out to make it a little bit smaller? Because I want to see where the trend line starts at before you made that. And that is a symmetrical triangle as well. Not zoom out, my fault. Zoom in so we can make it smaller. Okay. So it's coming. It's coming. It started off in a downtrend and it's hitting that line, your 4-hour line, and it's resisting every time. It's coming out of a bearish engulfing candle. It's getting a little bit of retracement to the up end. It's creating lower lows. I think it's I think, and I could be wrong, it's eventually going to break to the downside. Just because I see it, I see the highs, they're starting to make higher lows each time. So I think it's going to eventually work down. I think it's going to break your trend line at the bottom, maybe retest and continue to go to the downside.
I think it's doing, I mean, like this one right here.
Yeah. Well, that bottom trend line that you have as far as for your pattern.
Down here.
Yeah, I think eventually it will, as long as it keeps making like the lower lows or higher lows, I would say, then I think it's going to break it and keep going to the downside, I'm sorry. Because it's really, I see the trend line that you have right there, the blue one, but it's really not making any higher highs. It's respecting that, it's respecting your 4-hour resistance line and continuing to bounce off of it. It's not really creating any higher highs.
Right.
So I think eventually it's just going to push down and continue to the downside because it's already come out of a downtrend into a symmetrical triangle pattern.
Okay. I see that. I see what you're saying.
But you got Vaughn the Builder on here. Let's see what this man got to say.
How you know I had something to say?
Because I know you, bro.
I see that smile on your face right there. You got something to say.
Yeah. No, I do agree with you, man. I'm going to show you guys something in 1 second. Give me 1 second here.
Okay, I'll get off of this.
Hey, great job on
Thank
that,
you.
Mark. That's awesome.
Yeah,
man.
that's great, Mark. That's great, man. That's a solid symmetrical triangle pattern, man. I like that a lot.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, sir. I actually didn't have EU marked up with the triangles, but I did want to show something. Hope you guys can see it on this screen, but it's easier to see. I'll just share in 1 second. My computer moves slow sometimes.
Hey, Mark, while he's finding that, I got a quick question for you.
Yeah.
Your Bollinger Bands that you use, now I don't really use them, but every now and then I keep it on my chart and I may pull it up just to see if it's doing certain things. For your Bollinger Bands, what exactly, I know this is not part of the training, but just real quick, what are you looking for as far as your Bollinger Bands?
I don't have any Bollinger Bands.
I promise I thought you had them on.
Those
there.
were EMAs.
EMA, yeah, EMA.
Okay, so okay, never mind then. The 200 EMA, yeah, I use the 200 EMA too. That gives me another, basically tells me which way the trend is going. Honestly, the past 200 candles.
Right, yeah.
Okay, got you.
I've been thinking about it. See, I just have the free version of TradingView. I'm thinking about just going ahead and getting a subscription so I can get more indicators.
I got you.
I would like to have Bollinger Bands, but
Yes,
I don't know. It's just a lot to take in.
It is, man. That's why I don't even use indicators, Mark. I use the strategy that me and Vaughn use. We just implemented this, and I think that as far as quote unquote indicators, the fib, head and shoulders, and these triangle patterns, those are our indicators.
Yeah. Mark, the only one I would recommend, if you were to get one that kind of works for me, would be the RSI. And that's free. You don't have to pay for that. All right. Sharing my screen. Can you guys see my screen on EU?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay. So just to caveat on what Mark is talking about, we got 3 triangles. So those are continuation triangles, right? So I agree that it's going to eventually break down, and it's probably going to happen at either this candle coming up now or the next time it comes up to the top, this 850 area is going to continue to tank. It may continue to tank down right now. So I think it's definitely a great sell opportunity if it comes back up to 850 area. I already got it marked up. So 850, I'm looking for a sell on that on EU. Just so everybody knows that. But I definitely agree with the analysis. I'm not going to go through all the analysis, but those triangles are telling a story. And every time it forms the same pattern, it does the same thing. So I think there's a continuation, because if that's 1, 2, 3 times, it's done the same pattern. So I'm starting to notice these things like clockwork, and I'm like, wow, this is amazing. So when you guys can add more stuff to your toolbox, it's going to help your trading game overall, you know? So that's what I got on EU. Now I want to talk about the falling wedge pattern.
Hold on. Hey, stay right there real quick, bro. One more thing, just to and I know I've been saying it, but if you look at this EU that he has marked up, before at the top one that he has, the symmetrical pattern at the top, if you can see before he even drew that, it was in a downtrend. So just like we talked about, find your trend first. So it found it, we came in a downtrend, it created that symmetrical pattern. Well, symmetrical pattern, and then it broke to the downside. All right. So then once it broke to the downside, it came into the next symmetrical pattern. And then what it do? It broke to the downside, found the next symmetrical pattern. So it's very important to find your trend. You can find all the triangles that you want, but make sure that you know the trend that it's in before you get in there, so you know for future references where it's going. So looking at this, I'm like, okay, cool. I'm looking at sales on this stuff right here. Then that's for future price, future trades.
Yeah.
Would you stick to the trend just doing sales on that, or would you take the buys off of the ascending trend line there, part of the triangle, or stick
I would take the buys off the ascending triangle too, because in all honestly, it's a consolidation. It's a consolidation pattern, and you know Vaughn loves consolidation as well. But I would only take them probably, you know, at more major resistances, meaning at the top of wicks. I wouldn't really mess around too much in the middle at minor resistances. So I would like to take them. Well, for calls, I would like to take them at the bottom of the wicks. So if that means I gotta wait until it hits the ascending trend line, then that's what I'm gonna wait on.
Right. Okay. That makes
perfect.
Oh yes, sir.
All Do you think, bro? I'm not interrupting no more.
Oh no, man. This your show tonight. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and share my other screen now and go over the falling wedge real quick. Okay, so here's the falling wedge. Basically, it's either a reversal or a continuation pattern. It's definitely a bullish chart pattern, and it's formed at the bottom of a downtrend. So I actually ran this play earlier this morning or today, sometime today, and I caught it making the pattern, and I took a call on it, I think at 275. Let me make this a little bit smaller. There we go. So I took a call on this at 275 right here, and I caught the uptrend. And then when it came up here, I took a sell at 375 and caught the downtrending sell at this line here. So the falling wedge definitely works. Like he said, you got to identify the trend first. This is for a downtrending pattern. So that's what you use the falling wedge for on this one. And actually, like I said, it actually works. I use this already, so it does work. I'm going to share my screen with something else to show you guys a little bit of content, and actually where you can go and read on this if you want to further than what we're talking about now, just to give you where I got it from. It's not my information, but I don't mind sharing. You guys can copy the link down if you like. So this is what I read and I got my information from a few days ago, and I actually implemented it into my strategy, and it works. So all I'm trying to do with my strategy is implement more things that I can naturally use, like the head and shoulders pattern, the wedges, the triangles, things like that, that are not taken away from my strategy already. I don't want to confuse myself. So my advice would be to add something to your strategy that's going to help you, not hinder you, or have a learning curve that'll throw your strategy off. Okay, so that's very important. But that's the falling wedge here. I got this on babypips.com/learn/forex/wedges. I can put this in the chat so where you guys can have it. Put it in the chat right now. So it's in the chat. There you guys go. And then I'm going to cover the other one. This is for the uptrend. This is the rising wedge pattern here. And it's just opposite of the falling wedge. You first got to find your uptrend motion. As it says, the up and slope support resistance lines. And basically it's forming at the end of the uptrend. And then you get into your calls and sells the same way you would in consolidation, like Davion explained. He did a great job explaining all that. It's the same thing. So it's nothing different from that. It just called something different. Right? Like I said, on the other hand, it forms on during a downtrend, the signal continuation of the down move. So the same thing. Like I said, just opposite. So that's the rising wedge and the falling wedge, which is already been utilized. I don't want to spend too much time on that because he covered a whole lot explaining how to use it. This is just a different name of it. You know, again, it's showing our lower lows, lower highs. Same thing on the rising wedge, it's creating the higher highs and higher lows. So same thing, just reverse. So again, you guys can read this on your own, really read through it. Watch a video or two if you need to kind of see how it's actually used and how we trade in HFX. But definitely, if you trade Forex, these patterns are great for Forex because think about the pips you can catch. You got in at the bottom of this trend here. If you got in at the bottom here and you caught a call all the way up, that's a lot of pips. That's a lot of money depending on your lot size. So these things we're learning HFX can be also utilized on Forex. So just keep that in mind. So that's all I got on tonight's training. Did you got something else about any of these patterns you want to cover?
I'm good, bro. I think we covered that in what 30 minutes. That's perfect, bro.
Yeah, great job on that. I can't say nothing else about that. I think we got a lot out of that. So that was great. And I'm glad we got some real life examples on our chart because sometimes you give a class, it's just instruction and just illustration from the actual the information you get offline or whatever. But now we can look at our charts for real and see the patterns in real life. Mark is seeing them. We got 3 people on the line right now seeing them tonight. So that's great that we're getting to see this stuff. So I definitely challenge you guys to go ahead and look for your own patterns on your own charts and actually draw on your charts. That way you can actually see these patterns like, oh wow, a light bulb will go off as you start to see them and then start practicing taking trades. You ain't got to use your real account. Use a demo account, take dollar trades, when it hits the top line. When it hits the bottom line, take a dollar trade and see if it actually works for you. That way you can feel comfortable putting more money on the line when you actually trade. Okay, that way you're not losing any money when you're trying to master your strategy, if that makes sense to you guys.
Most definitely.
All right, so Mark, any more questions on that? Are you good?
No, I'm good right now, guys. Awesome.
Okay, great, man. What about anybody? Anybody else got any questions about the what we went over tonight? If you hopped on late, I think you missed out on some great information in the beginning. But again, we kind of recapped it in the end. And, you can still see my screen. You can actually go on that website and look it up and read it on your own if you got on late. And that's pretty much it. So we may look for see any trade ideas, and then we're going to call it a night.
And it is recorded too, so you can go back and Vaughn can get you the recording.
If you want it,
yeah. Yeah, if you want it, yeah, most definitely.
If you can hold this screen up for just a second, I just want a screenshot. Oh, wait. Yeah, I wanted to screenshot the notes that you had on there really quick.
Oh yeah, I'll go back.
Let me pull up my screenshot tool. Okay.
My screen comes back. My computer likes to move slow.
Okay, perfect. All right, I got it. Thank you.
Oh, no problem. I'm just scanning the market now to see any trade ideas. That's all.
Cool.
So like right now, you guys, this pattern is done. So I'm not looking to, get into a trade on this based off this now. This is over with. Now I got to wait for the market to make some other kind of pattern if I want to, find another falling wedge pattern or whatever. But even on EU, man, I mean, EU is actually setting up for a call. We missed it. We missed the call on EU. I meant to say that. I know I said the sell, but the call down at that 775 area.
On EU?
Yep, 775. I mean, it's crazy. It's kind of hard to say where to get in it on the call, actually.
It is because everything is wicking off pretty heavy.
Yeah, but 757 looks to be about a good spot for a call. But I think the sales are actually less riskier than the calls.
Because it's already in that downtrend.
Yeah, so I say wait on the sale for you actually, man.
I got 894 for a put on that EU.
I got 850.
850. I'm really looking at that like the. No, I see the 850. Yeah, I'm looking at the top. If it was to come back up there, it's like more your, your major areas.
Yeah.
But I see the 850 and I see 894.
Yeah, because I think, it may go to 850, come up, go down, and then go up more to 894, go up and then come back down. So that's probably 2 entries on EU, to be honest. But depending on what the market gives us, you never know what may happen. Yes, sir. If you see anything else, D, let me know while I'm scanning the market too, or any other pair. Yes, Katrina, I will definitely send you the recording. No problem. On this EG, it's been a consolidation like forever today. I like it for a sell at 322. When I'm not trying to do anything, my screen moves, no problem. It ain't moving at all. I trade my Mac in for something else. It's not moving. It's stuck. Come on, screen. Like taking your kids in public for the first time, like don't go and embarrass me now. And they do exactly the opposite, right?
Exactly the opposite, bro.
Yeah, buddy, come on. Well, that's not working. So let me just look them up. Y'all not gonna be able to see what I'm looking at then. Well, actually, I can share that screen. That one ain't moving no faster. Okay. I was just trying to show my analysis. No, that went too far down. Okay, but you guys can see what I'm looking at. I'm looking at this zone here. This what is counting this purple box here. I'm looking for 322 or higher. So that's a zone. It could be 325, 327. But that zone I think is solid for a sale. I don't think it's going to break out in an uptrend.
Yeah, I got that same zone, bro.
Yeah, so I think if it comes, then actually 319, between 319 and 325 is ideal. So I'm just going to write that down because I may not be able to get on my screen here to see it. Set me an alarm. So that's EG 319, 325 put. All right, so that's one trade idea there.
Let me say 325, right?
Between 319 and 325.
All right, because it's at 313 right now.
Okay, yeah, it sure is. Well, it was coming up. I'm waiting on EG to make it move up. I do like to trade, just waiting for it to make its move before I go look at something else. 302. All right, I'm gonna keep looking while I'm waiting on that. On this JPY, it would have to come all the way back up to this zone here at this 857 or higher area, 871 actually, 871 or higher on this JPY. My zone starts at about 850, 840 to like 850, probably 850, but it wicks out of there. So it comes all the way up to 870, 874. So for me, it would have to come all the way back up to the 870 area for me to get into a trade on that. So I'm just going to set an alarm at around the 50 area just so I can be looking at it and then reassess. So if you guys look at this pair later on after the session, that could be a potential, trade idea there. Because it likes to make these kind of like big moves. And I consider this to be the ceiling up here. You can see it. It's making big moves, but it's still in a downtrend, kind of consolidating to the right now. I already made his breakout down, made it break up back up to this same ceiling. Back down. So I think it's going to come back up just like that. From down here. There we go. Right there and then back down. Nope. Okay. And then go to a high time frame to confirm it. 304 EG is not coming back up right now. So on a high time frame, you can see that 870s area is solid all up in here. So I like the 870 area on that. Actually, I got 879 for a put. So I think it'd be a little bit lower than that. Let me just double check that. 879. Why did I say 70? That's an odd number. Okay. 879, 880, somewhere in there. So that's just a zone to start looking at the trade. Like I said, you never know when the market may give that to you, maybe tomorrow or today or tonight, if you're still trading. You see anything else, D? Because the market is moving kind of slow today. And we are in the last week of the month, guys. So, kind of keep that in mind when you are trading this week. That you're going to have some crazy movement. Like this is a big old drop. And now it's consolidating.
I'm looking at UJ around 530.
UJ 530. At least we'll have to get one trade in here if we can. Yeah, I was waiting on UJ to drop. It never came back down to my 618 zone. But now it's still the same height almost. You like it at 530.
530 and below, or like 526, maybe in that area, 530 to 520s.
That's right at the point. Well, that's a little bit higher than that. Never mind. 530. Yeah, I definitely see it coming down there. I think the 486 is solid, but I do like the 530 as well. It's at 562 right now, so they may get here before anything else.
I'm still kind of, let me share my screen real
Yeah, go ahead.
fast, and I'm gonna kind of show you what I'm looking at. Now you see the triangle that I got it in,
Mm-hmm.
solid uptrend. So I'm thinking it may come and hit my zone right here at 530, and also off of this
Trend line.
that ascending, yeah, at an ascending trend line, and kind of shoot up because it is creating higher highs.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so I would like it to hit the bottom of that fib zone, right? 530, 526. Maybe for like a break and retest. It's solid on the fib and the trend line. I'm thinking that may be three good confirmations for the call.
Okay, so you want 526?
Yeah, 530 and below.
Okay.
530 and below. Yeah. What you think about that?
No, I like that area. I do like that. I just think on looking on my screen, I think the 486 is also another good entry point. But that
It is.
530 could be the first one because it always going to hit an area and then go back up, then come down to a lower low.
Mhm.
So I agree with the 526 area is cool.
Let's see what the five look like. See, it look good on the five.
Yeah, I'm actually on the 15. I didn't go down
Yeah.
back to the 5. Let me go look at the 5 minute.
I was on the 5 too. I'm at the 15, my fault.
Okay. Your GBP is what I say that EG 319, 325.
319 to 3, yeah. So right now.
Yep. So I got in there. I got 319. Which you could have got that 322. So I'm actually in EG.
No, I hit 322.
You got 322. That's a great entry. Come on, tank down that EG. There you go. Big drop. If you got in there, you deep in profit. Let's go.
Yep. I got in at 319.
Let's go. That's what we needed, some bust down action on this great Tuesday. Look at the analysis on that on DDP. So this is, I gotta clean my charts up too. Maybe that's what it is. Well, I really hate when that happens. Well, I can't go back over the analysis as you guys can see. I wanted to, but it ain't happening. Let me stop trying. Come on, big push down. There we go. Big drop city. Big drop city. Come on. Big fade. We got all the believers here tonight. BOE is in full effect.
Big drop.
Let's go.
Big drops.
Need the whole team to clear this trade. There we go. There we go. Big drop.
That's it right there. Stay in the 300s.
Yeah, keep going down for everybody that's in the trade. Let's go.
In the 300.
Hope you guys got to take that trade.
I definitely got in.
It's still dropping, which is great to see. So you guys had no problem clearing that. And that's a great way to end the session.
Great way to end the session.
That was awesome. Let me know when you guys clear.
Big drops, man. Get below 300.
Right.
Get below 300. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to show the analysis, man. I hate when I can't roll back over the analysis. And,
You may pull it up?
no, I'm just trying to get my screen. There we go. Just trying to get my screen to come down. I do like to show, you know, why I'm taking my trades or whatever. Now, I know I got the fib exaggeratedly out more than what I should. I only did that to help me see the levels that it was at. Now, I'm not actually using the fib to trade. It's just to show me what levels are staying in that 0.5 zone. I don't want to see that. That's why I extended it out to the right. So I know the fib is not placed right for all you guys that may be critical on me. But this zone, this zone has been real solid. You know, this has been going on, like I said, all morning. So that's why I've been really liking this pair and thought that would be a great spot. And it has not been broken yet. So that 319 area was 319, 325 was definitely solid. So hopefully the whole team got to eat on that trade and we all got to the bag on this one trade tonight.
Yeah, big clears.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So anybody got any final questions, comments, concerns? Great job, Dia, as well. Make sure I give you the proper
Appreciate
credit.
you, bro. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir. You want to close it out, D?
No, man. You closed it out right here with that trade. But I will say the stuff that hopefully, man, that for the ones that did get in late, get that recording. I know Queen, I knew she got a few screenshots, get with her, get with us. If you didn't get the beginning of it, and start marking up those triangle patterns on your charts. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't think they're right, reach out. Because there's so many variants that one of them is going to work in your favor. There's so many of them. So you're never wrong. It's never a bad question. On a little bit of money. And that's it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
How do we see the recording?
Say again, Mark.
So how do we see the recording?
I'll send it to you if you want it.
Oh, awesome. I would, yeah, love it.
Yeah, it's gonna be on my YouTube page though, but I'll definitely send it to you. If you
Oh, that's okay. I can go there.
Okay, good. You got my YouTube handle already?
Oh, I'm subscribed.
Okay, thanks, Mark. I appreciate the follow, man. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
All right, you guys.
Awesome.
So we'll see you guys tomorrow.
Peace.
All right, have a good night.
Good night.
All right, man. You too.